We will now continue with the question and answer session. Our first call is from the Comisión Federal de Electricidad, La División Bajío, in the city of Guanajuato, in the state of Guanajuato, in Mexico.
Muy buenos días.
Good morning. Buenos días. My name is Marco Aurelio Hernández Pérez, and my question is the following. Why the name of Generation Y? Is this the last or one of the last chances we have in terms of generations? And what about this lack of ethical behavior and this lack of understanding this cause-effect relationship? So why Generation Y?
Well, I guess the short answer to why Generation Y is because it's their turn. They are coming of age. And it's really the generation that has been raised on technology and computers. If you think about it, it's the generation of college-age students and college graduates who have grown up with computers and technologies in their home. And so they understand the technological significance in terms of doing business better through the use of technology. With respect to the balance, though, your question, you also asked about ethical behavior. And I think this is hopefully the great contribution that Generation Y will bring to business and the political systems around the world. And that is, Generation Y is very concerned about ethical behavior. In the United States, a couple of years ago, we passed landmark legislation known as the Sarbanes-Oxley Act to try to clean up how leaders lead ethically and honestly. And I think the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, combined with the pressures that Generation Y is bringing to the business place, will help, I think, improve the results that we get. One last comment. I don't think it's our last chance. Each generation contributes a little bit as they come of age. And hopefully Generation Y will learn from our generation, the baby boomer generation, and Generation X, and the next generation, in order to make things better and make it a better world.
Thank you. Our next question is from the Dominican Republic. It is from the Centro de Gestión e Investigación in the capital city of Santo Domingo in the República Dominicana.
Good morning. What is the importance in terms of religious values in leadership aspects in the 21st century, as well as in political aspects? And how does religion affect the decision process?
Well, this is it's an interesting question because all around the world, religion and religious beliefs are having a tremendous impact on how leaders lead and the cultural direction of nations, from Catholicism to Islam. There are tremendous influences at stake. And I also think probably the evangelical movement, especially in third world countries, will have a significant impact on the methods and strategies that leaders use to make decisions. Because you cannot ignore the core beliefs that a society has. And I think that's probably the fundamental grounding that religious views offer both to the socioeconomic environment as well as the political environment. So I think, in answer to your question, religious influence is growing. That may be a good thing or a negative thing, depending on the particular beliefs. But one thing that I think the United States has done fairly well, and I think we need to preserve that is the separation of a church and state so that freedom is cherished and people can practice whatever beliefs they want.
Thank you. Our next question is from Mexico. It is from the Instituto Tecnológico Superior de la Sierra del Norte de Puebla in Zacatlán, in the state of Puebla, in Mexico.
Buenos días.
My question is, what criteria can we use to evaluate leadership within an organization in order to achieve success?
Well, the criteria that I spoke of earlier, the Malcolm Baldrige Award criteria for performance excellence, is available to you or to any organization around the world. And you can access that through the website of quality.nist.gov. And maybe ITC could put that up on the screen so that you have that information. I think the basics of the Malcolm Baldrige Award and award programs similar to it from Mexico to Brazil to Japan all require the leader to think in the context of a holistic approach as to how he or she does business and to be accountable for the results that they're getting through the decisions they make. So I would start with the Baldrige Award unless you have a program in your own country that may emulate the Malcolm Baldrige Award.
Thank you. Our next question is from Peru. It is from La Universidad Ricardo Palma in Lima, Peru.
Good morning. Our institution, Ricardo Palma, has a high degree of creativity, and we can see this in students, in the professors, but this clashes with the administration, where we lose our leadership in terms of our market. So I wanted to ask for some counsel on your part to see how we could then try and have a more global perspective within our university and not clash as much. How can we achieve this?
Well, I think this is a question that has plagued structured organizations for centuries, and that is youth prides itself on its creative dimension, the creative arts, its ability to express itself in a creative way. Whereas the administration of a university is much more structured and much more, it's judged more on the basis of the results that it gets. So you're going to have a natural clash. It's no different in the political theater where you have conservatives and liberals, and they clash because their values are a little different. And certainly their expectations are different. So first of all, it's a very natural order in the world in terms of how people think and behave. I think what you want to try to do, though, in terms of bringing the two together is not lose the creative aspect, but help the creative side understand the importance of a structure or a process within which creativity can happen. And by the way, a great company, a world-class company that you might want to look at that models creativity and innovation but still gets outstanding results is 3M. The 3M company out of St. Paul, Minnesota in the United States does a wonderful job of encouraging creativity, but at the same time balancing it with the structured process to get results. So you might start there, and administrators also need to understand the importance of new ideas and creativity in the workplace in order to keep it fresh and to be responsive to the customer.
Thank you. We have an iPhone call from Mexico. It is from El Instituto Tecnológico Superior de Misantla, in the city of Misantla, in the state of Veracruz, in Mexico.
to have lost our caller. I think we can move on to the next question while we...
Let me ask a question while we pick up the next call. Why are the RWJ Hamilton Hospital customer-oriented initiatives based on employee initiatives so significant?
Well, during my presentation, I mentioned RWJ Hamilton Hospital, which is located in New Jersey, not far from New York. And to me, the significance of what RWJ Hamilton Hospital has accomplished is this. They have been able to take the ideas of their employees and blend that with the culture that they've created at RWJ to create some significant results. So when you engage your employees in the process of achieving better results, you have a win-win scenario. You have teams, you have a culture of employee involvement, and that culture creates outstanding results. And I think that's partly why RWJ Hamilton won the Malcolm Baldrige Award.
Thank you. I think we have one more phone call. Okay, this is again from Veracruz. This is the from Misantla, Veracruz, that we lost before. Okay?
Do when he or she faces employees that are not motivated and that do not accept the work of the leader?
Well, first of all, I'm delighted that we were able to complete the call, so thank you for your patience. It's a very difficult situation because you have to ask yourself, is the leader at fault because he or she is not stimulating the employees or motivating the employees or clearly articulating the vision by which the organization and the employees need to follow? If you have a fragile leader, a leader who does not clearly communicate, a leader who does not articulate the vision, the employees are not going to get aboard. They're going to drift and they're going to do their own thing. Now, the other side of the equation is the part of your question that deals with what do you do with employees that are not motivated and will not work. I think in today's competitive environment, every employee needs to understand what is expected of him or her. And their job needs to be clearly explained, and also the correlation between their job and how they contribute to the end result of the company. And if they can't do that, then you may have to invite them to pursue a new career.